Fallout 3 is a game where you shoot people down with bullets in a desolated post-apocalyptic world that has 5 DLCs. Previously, I took the humble runs to Alien Cranium, so now I'm gonna do the total opposite of that because I'll be trying to figure out can you beat Fallout 3's The Pitt DLC by going band for band. And no you can't, for a pretty obvious reason, probably. I never really paid attention much to the Pit if you can get the materials to make the junket launcher, but I kinda don't really care, as I was born rich, hence the name, that I spent a full minute trying to type out. In my first steps, I bravely turned off autosave and allotted what's basically a cheat code. At the birthday, I ate a sweet roll, and once I've gotten access to my hands, I cheated in the money launcher and gave myself 30,000 pre-war bands to test it out, and it pretty much two-shot at everyone here. Growing up, I cheated the rocket money back again, and sniped Butch's group alongside Amanda to skip their dialogue, skip the goat and tag the obvious one to proceed with the last part of the opening, where I refuse Amanda, after an annoyingly long time, pull out the band catapult, and liberate everyone with Moolah, absolutely sniping these poor mole people with cold hard cash. Finally out in the open, you'll see that it noticeably lacks the Kiwami filter. That's because I paid the atomic smoke to clear out, and needing a nice sum of money to be able to run with my weapon node. Also, at every level up, I basically min-max big guns to do really big damage. And during the journey there, I pretty much killed everything I see, which includes the residents of Big Town, flies, dogs, and other wasteland critters. Meeting up with Werner only for him to tell us to get a slave outfit. Setting my sight there, I was ambushed by some talent company mug, so I paid my bounty off in exchange for their lives. Once in a slave encampment, I got a slightly hard time, even though I was about to just buy one, and even give them an extra ban in advance, but they just started shooting. So I had to parkour my way inside the lock cage, bribe the slave to not tell anyone, and exit out. But I'm not going to Pittsburgh in this dingy stitch, so I pull up the console command and added a crisp, dirty pre-war businessware. What's inside? Warner was poor with his words, so I threw money at the problem. We then had to part ways, and I had a faint memory of there being mines in this bridge, so I attempted with more parkour, but died anyways. Finally nearing the main gate, I then felt the effect of my shitty ass laptop lagging on fucking Fallout 3. So after getting my ass beat, I exited the game to lower the graphics. Now finally in the pit proper, I used my money to manipulate reality to get my moolah slingshot back. Then took around 12 minutes figuring out the appropriate amount of paper that I'll be allowing myself to use. So earlier on, I summoned in 30,000 pre-war money because that's the amount of yen you start Lucky Dragon Zero, the promised land with. But that game is set in 1989 Japan, so we need to account for inflation, which would be 38,440 yen, more or less. But Fallout 3 is set in 2277 America. So we need to cause the hypothetical inflation rate to the year 2277, which would be 523,500 yen if we were to highball it. Then finally convert that to the US dollar with the hypothetical exchange rate in the year 2277. So we end up with $1,680 if we were to highball the strength of the yen to play with. Also, I've been withholding this, but each time I cheated in the junket launcher, it saved the amount of money I've stored in it, even after every time the game took it away from my inventory. So I removed those and inserted the new greens, donned my white suit once more, to finally go band for band with the entire population of Pittsburgh. I stumbled my way to media and scoffed at the prospect of peasant work, but since iron ingots are involved, it might not be too bad. First off, I kinda hate the pit layout, because I constantly get lost in it, which I will admit is a skill issue, but it's still frustrating, even when we're in a mill, especially when we're in a mill. So I speedrun my way to get the Minecraft iron ingots, as I do not want to spend any more time here than necessary. Especially with that one soft looking glitch somewhere at the rooftops. The trucks also basically die in 1 or 2 hits, but they are ever so slightly difficult due to the game's overall gunplay, especially with big guns. On the way back to Mediarama, I helped some slavers kill a slave before ultimately not listening to Asher's yapsash. Consider him lucky that the universe has to disable my arms. But once I got them back, I almost one-shotted him, even though he's in full power armor. So I tried again and again to end the DLC early, but I couldn't. So it's back to the regular slave program by setting up for the Elder Scrolls 1 Arena. So 3 rounds of fighting slaves, or what the people here colloquially calls scabs, versus Mr. Moneybags. You know how that would go. Even with the scary bright yellow radiation barrels, green radiation goo won't stop my cold hard cash from breaking some bones. We can now get an audience with Master Asher, and I despise the way there. It's probably intentionally made to be confusing, but it's still frustrating to navigate. This statue here is cool though. Once in Asher's office, I wait until he's done conversing, made a quick save and tried buying off his position with money, put up a really pathetic fight and died. Second try and I got lucky, grabbing the cure note and kidnapping baby Marie. 3 without hesitation. A full-blown civil war occurred and I tried to have some fun first before ending up lost on where to go, before finally stumbling on Werner's hideout in the mill, hand a baby to the shifty-eyed guy, and had to kill the lights by going through the iconic Fallout 3 The Pitt DLC sewer tunnels, and storming a power plant filled with fish people. The sharks still die in one hit, but their agility makes it hard for me to aim. But the pitiful damage is really nothing to be worried about, even when I'm swarmed. Once the lights are killed, I dash back to the entrance and meet with Warner again, beating the Pitt DLC. And that's it! It's shockingly short, I know. So I load back a save in the road split and decide to help Asher now, asking a little bit about the baby and heading to the fight in the Civil War. Now it's just against the slaves, so I kill Madirahan too, before going to the Warner boss fight where I start shooting first because I couldn't remember if he could go invisible or not. Even then he was still the hardest encounter so far, even by his lonesome. Then return back to Asher and beat Fallout 3, the Pit, once again. And that's it. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be this easy. But also the Pit being really short. I mean, that was like, what, just 3 quests? But I'm not gonna complain. So if you like the video, please leave a like. If you dislike it, then feel free to leave a dislike. Subscribe if you want to, and
bye.